Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay, take a deep breath. Just exhale all our tension and relax. Just be here in this place at this moment. And then watch your breath. Breathe just naturally as usually we breathe. And take the breath as the object and do just calm abiding meditation. Calm your mind and breath as the object to focus and just relax there for a few moments. Okay, thank you. Then we'll say a few opening prayers. First, page 1. So please say these prayers, as I mentioned other day. Contemplative ways called while we are chanting, bring the meaning into our heart and exercise our mind with the meaning of these prayers. All Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles to my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and so will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles to my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and so be established in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, those who create obstacles to my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and so be established in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deed with the body, speech, and mind. Until that, I perform virtuous deed with the body, speech, and mind. And from now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deed with the body, speech, and mind. Say page 5. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all Mother Sentient beings, boundless the sky, have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and causes of suffering. May never be separated from happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, boundless the sky, have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from that happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, boundless the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Thank you. Okay. So today we have a few new people from yesterday, and so we are going through this jewel ornament of liberation, as you have received all the informations, and we are going through this step by step. This next for 2 months, 3 days in a week, including Mayana Sutra Alankara, as well as discussions, questions, so forth. So who we are interested in the Dharma is very important to go through this step by step and understand what the teaching is about, and then what's the benefit from, how much benefit we get from this. So these are the very important. So there's yesterday we went through. There's six subject. The primary course, Buddha nature, which still we have finished all, and then follows the precious human life, spiritual masters, and the spiritual masters' instruction. And by studying, practicing that, the result Buddhahood and Buddha's activities. So it gives you a complete picture how to achieve enlightenment. Many times, you see, in our Dharma centers, we invite some individual teachers and give you some specific topics, not in a complete way, some big empowerments. So you think this is enough for enlightenment. You think this is enough for, finish all the job. But if you go through this step by step, you see how much there's things to do. So as mentioned, Kambupa skillfully, carefully designed this book especially for us who have very little capacity to study, practice. So for all, so it's so precious. So we always should, first of all, rejoice yourself. I'm so fortunate I got this opportunity. It's Kambupa's hard advice giving to all the sentient beings. As I mentioned, not just for only Buddhists, but all those who desire to free from suffering and to desire to have peace and happiness. Just go through in details. So when you finish this book, you'll get a good picture what Buddhism is about. Because when I received this teaching from Kunu Lama Rinpoche, so he said, it's good if you have studied many other Buddhist commentaries, sutras, be a great scholar. But at least if you know this jewel ornament of liberation well, then you can say, I understand Buddhism. So that's how it is. So yesterday we went through the disconnected family. So there are 5 families. So from the 5 family, disconnected family. Now today it comes to the indefinite family. Not sure which family to recognize. So it's conditional. The nature of the indefinite family depends on contributory conditions, you see. Because of indefinite depends on the contributory cause, or it depends on the conditions. So if that individual, say if the indefinite individual attend a hearer spiritual master. Hearer means Sharavaka, one who receives teaching from Buddha and make a friend or supporter to give the teaching to others. No. So for individual interest for enlightenment, not for not as a bodhisattva. So hearer, spiritual master, or associate with the hearer friends, or study the different hearer texts, Sharavaka texts, for individual kind of way of study, practice. Then that individual, the indefinite lineage of family, those person will awaken in that in the hearer family lineage. Then they incline to that direction, follow that vehicle. So they will study and follow that path and become part of the hearer family. Likewise, as well, if that individual, those person, meet with a solitary realizer, the Pratyeka Buddha teacher, or a Mahayana, a Bodhisattva master, and then they made a spiritual master of those, and or become a friend of those, of those, or study the text of those. Say, meets with the solitary realizer and Mahayana masters, then respectively they will become part of that solitary realizer or the Mahayana family or lineage. So that's what's called indefinite lineage. So therefore, the spiritual master is very important, who is well established in the scholarship as well in the experiencing those teachings. So it's which we'll describe later. Then third, the hearer family or lineage, the Sharavaka lineage. See how this book is so precise. Not too much, but just essence put together. See, the family of hearers or Sharavakas consist of those who fear samsara, those who have such a great fear, or means renunciation of samsara, so strong, and then yearn to achieve nirvana because of the fear, renunciation. They have such a strong motivation to achieve nirvana. No? Very strong. No? So they yearn to achieve nirvana. Have that. Tomorrow we maybe close this all the tables. Tomorrow. I'm not saying today. Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So it's you just come up here if there are more people. See, then, but who have little compassion. This little compassion means has no bodhicitta. But those Sharavakas have such a strong compassion, generally in that life, to benefit, to help other sentient beings. They have such a strong compassion. for in that life to benefit all sentient beings. But they do not have a compassion to benefit life after life, to liberate sentient beings, because they're themselves interested to achieve liberation for them in that very life for themselves. Okay. So it has been said, one who is afraid upon seeing the suffering of samsara. See, when you study the suffering of samsara, like hell realm, hungry ghost, or hungry spirit, animals and human beings, there you see, no, you cannot bear because you are under the condition of those suffering. So there's that kind of feeling of suffering bring into the heart, not just intellectualized, just bring into the heart. If I suffer this, what should I do? No, because I'm not out of that. As long as we're in the samsara, I will stay, and one day maybe I have to experience. Then what should I do? So because of that, there was such a strong fear and renunciation of this suffering of samsara. And because of that, and yearns to achieve nirvana. There was such a strong yearning. Yeah, Peter. There she did. There.
They need chairs.
Shabja kudu hai. No need eh. You sit. They dig do hai. Oh, they shoes ne. No need. They have good knees. 당이 인지 자격 자격하다. 인지 자격 자격하게. 당 나라게 유어 말해. 내 마자라자다. So first they have the suffer, the fear of the suffering, and second they have a strong motivation to achieve nirvana, and the third, but has little interest in benefiting sentient beings. So these three are the marks of the hero family. So look, just you can see the individuals who are interested for own, but not others, like this. So get it is some sense. What is Sharavaka means. It's very precise, you see. Then the fourth, solitary realizer family or lineage, the Patika Buddha. See, the solitary realizer family or lineage includes those who possess above 3 attributes and in addition are arrogant. Maybe they're arrogant, they have an arrogant, so I'm better than Sharavakas. Maybe. I'm more better off than anyone else. Keep their master's identity secret. They keep their master quiet. They don't expose their master to the public. And prefer to stay in solitary places, in a solitude place. This means most of them, not everyone. There are some who come to the public benefit helps. So it has been said, fear at the thought of samsara. Thought of samsara reflect in the suffering in the samsara, and then have a fear of the suffering. This is a good reason to be fear. No, looking at the suffering of samsara and then having the fear is a good reason. There are some people who try to create negative karma as much as they can and have no fear. No? That's the wrong kind of no fear. So look at the negative karma we are creating, having fear. Look at the suffering of the samsara, having fear. It's the right thing. Even we practitioners, but we have fear not for only ourselves, as a Mahayana, which will come later, for all other sentient beings. If somebody is having such a great fear, suffering, and look at, say, or if somebody is creating such a negative karma, then you have a fear, compassion. No. They are the victim of the suffering. So fear at the thought of samsara, yearning for nirvana. 2, little compassion to benefit sentient beings, life after life. 3, arrogance. 4, secretive about their teachers. 5, and enjoying solitude. Stay in the. Now the solitude again, depends. The great bodhisattvas, they also stay in the solitude, but they do to purify all the obscurations so that they can help every sentient beings. This here, they are in the solitude for individuals' interest, for their own liberation. So these 6, a wise one, those who are practicing Dharma, and then have a, prudent wisdom. When you have a prudent person who has a good wisdom, then can see which family who are there. So a wise one should understand that these are the marks of the solitary realizer family lineage. Okay. Now here, more description of these. The Sharavaka and Patik Buddhas, their state. So this book is such a precious. So these 2 families, the Sharavaka and the Patik Buddha, the hearer and the solitary realizer, engage in their respective vehicles, means path. Here vehicle means in their path. And even though they achieve the result of their practices, what they want to achieve, they achieved. What they want to get, they got. These results are not the final nirvana, but that result they achieve is not the final, not the absolute. Like say, if somebody wants to just finish the college, so I want to just finish the college, and I don't want to study any further. So when that individual finish the college, say, finish, got it, but it's not the final. Isn't that? So like that. How do they abide when they achieve their fruit? So now, what kind of state they abide when they stay in that final realization of their destination. Just questions. They maintain unafflicted state of meditative concentration. See, because see, in the special insight path, they uprooted the self, the ignorance which is holding the self. So they realize the selflessness nature. So that's called unafflicted. Since they have that realizations, direct realization of the selflessness nature is called unafflicted state of meditative concentration. But those states are based on the psychic imprint of ignorance, means have not purified all the leftover, the habit of the afflictive emotions. Even though when you put a perfume in your cup with some other food, no, you don't worry. Yeah, just so if you have a strong perfume with some food in the dish, even though you cleaned all the dish, still the perfume smells there, stays there. It's like that, is that the psychic imprint, of ignorance. Make sense? Even though you realize selflessness nature and purified all the ignorance directly, still the leftover, the habit is there. So that's what it means. Since they are meditative concentrations, that means they have such a strong meditative state, equipoise. Mind is totally in the equipoise state, like a mountain. So their meditative concentrations are unaffected. So they believe that they have achieved nirvana and remain that way. Because they realize now I say the self is not exist. And I realize that directly. There's no doubt. And within their state, then they meditate, they stay there. And they think that is the final achievement. So if you talk to those Saravaka or the Theravada school monks, they said, because these 5 aggregates, as yesterday mentioned, the psychophysic, the 5 psychophysic aggregates is the foundation of the suffering, because this is the basis of a holding self. As long as you have this, there's a suffering. We have to get out of this. When you get out of this, and then realize direct the selfless nature, and with that special insight, combined by the strong meditative equipoise, and that there's that thing that nothing is exist there. Everything's exhausted. And that's the final realization. Then you cannot come back. There's no any basis to coming back. So that's the their way of kind of philosophy that which Buddha taught according to their disposition. according to their interest. No. Now, if their states are not the final nirvana, now there comes question. Then one might argue, that the Buddha should not have taught these two paths. Then if that is not the final state, why Buddha should teach those? No. So to the taught these two paths. Is there a reason the Buddha should teach such paths? Then say yes. The answer is there's a reason Buddha to teach this. Now first, before giving actual answer, giving the example. For examples, suppose great merchant from this Jambudeva, means from this world, in the ancient time, in the country, it's like a mythology, For nowadays, it's like mythology. Maybe that time is not mythology; it's real. Jambudeva are traveling the ocean, searching for jewel. They're saying the ocean, the big ocean like Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean. So these oceans are the source of the precious jewel, especially like wish-granting jewel you can find from the ocean. So hundreds of, a group of merchants, they come together and they make journey to the ocean for months to find the jewel. Traveling the ocean searching for jewels. So after many months at sea, in some desolate place, they become completely tired and exhausted and think there's no way to get the jewel now. So for months and months, just only in the ocean, water, no land. So they miss the land, the city, the village. So they think, now we are so tired, exhausted. Now we cannot go further. We should return back to the world. This doesn't make any sense because they are so exhausted. So then what they say here? See, when they feel discouraged and prepare to turn back, the merchant captain is supposed to be a great enlightened being, manifests a huge island through his miracle power and lets all his followers rest there. He manifests a big island, and he tells them, there's 500 or 100 over those merchants. Now let's rest here for a few days. Enjoy your life here. Go around, visit the places. So then they feel relaxed, energized. They feel good about themselves. So, after a few days, when they are fully rested and relaxed, the captain says, we have not achieved our goal. So now, then he brings together then he tells all his friends, now we are well rested. We are happy here, but we have not achieved our goal. Why we come here? To collect all the jewels, and we haven't got yet. Now we should go further to get our jewels. Now we go further instead of return to the wall. So that's the example. The connection with that meaning. So similarly, sentient beings without courage are frightened when they hear about the Buddha's wisdom. When you read about the Buddha's ability, qualities, wisdom, like 10 strength, 4 fearlessnesses, 18 unmixed, 32 major marks, and I say, I have none of those. How I can achieve? No way. No. The Buddhahood is not possible for me. Some individual feels that. So for those, you see, wisdom, they believe attaining Buddhahood is a great hardship and think, I have no ability to do this. No. There are other people who are not interested in entering the path because of that, or who enter the path but return back. Even those who enter the path, so when you study Buddha's the inexhausting qualities, not possible. This is not for me, and derail from the path. So for those individuals, you see, to counter these problems, to solve those problems, Buddha who has a great skill, compassion, wisdom. Buddha presented these 2 paths and allows them to rest in these states. First, you achieve yourself. Don't worry about the Buddha's excellent qualities. If you achieve the arhats, then it's good for you. You achieve that state. So they saw this, said they're interested. Then Buddha gave the teachings, how to meditate, how to practice, step by step. So that's as said in the White Lotus of Sublime Dharma Sutra. It's a minor sutra. Likewise, all the hearers, Sharavakas, think they have achieved nirvana. So because they went through, they achieved arhat state, complete state, then they think they achieve nirvana. Now I achieved nirvana, which Buddha taught. But they have not achieved the final nirvana. It is nirvana, but not the final nirvana. Revealed by the Buddha, they are only resting. They are resting like 84,000 kalpas in that meditative state. When these hearers, Sharavakas and solitary realize that Patibuddhas are well rested in those states, then Buddha can see whether they're rested or not. When Buddha see or saw they are rested, Buddha understood this and encouraged them to attend Buddhahood. Now how it does, he said, how does Buddha encourage them? He awakes them through his body, speech, and wisdom mind. Here. Through wisdom mind, when Buddha saw directly while they are rested, then through Buddha's wisdom mind means that light radiates through the Buddha's wisdom and touches the mental body of the Sharavakas, hearers, and the solitary realizers. means the mental body means, as I mentioned, they have such a strong meditative equipoise state. They don't have this physical body. No, because they left the physical body and they are in the mental meditative equipoise state. So Buddha touched that their meditative state through the light. As soon as the light reaches them, they arise from their unaffected meditation. Then they awake from that meditative state. Then the Buddha appears physically. Then physically, Buddha appears in front of them. In front of them, with his speech, he says, "O you monks have not finished your deeds. You have not finished your practice. You have not finished all you are supposed to do. You got certain extent, but not finished. Your experience of nirvana is not the final nirvana." Buddha says it is nirvana, but not the final nirvana. No. Now all you monks have to work towards enlightenment. Means Buddhahood. This enlightenment means, because there are many degrees of the enlightenment in the Sharavaka, but the Buddha, their realization is also enlightenment. Now Buddhahood is the complete enlightenment. You should attain the realization of the Buddha. So Buddha says this: you don't have what I have achieved, so now you go further. You should achieve as I have. Buddha inspires them. Then they have energy, no interest. Now more quotations here. From the White Lotus of Sublime Dharma Sutra in verse form, Buddha says, you monks, today I declare, you have not achieved the final nirvana. In order to achieve the primordial wisdom, because they have not achieved the primordial wisdom. Which is the omniscient ones, Primordial wisdom of the omniscient one, knowing everything. Because you don't know everything. You know some, but not everything. So knowing everything is the Buddha's wisdom mind that you should achieve. You must cultivate great perseverance. Means you cultivate bodhicitta and then go for the perseverance. Through that you will achieve the wisdom of the omniscient one. So when Buddha said this, being motivated by the Buddha, so those being, no, they're not being motivated, they are fully motivated by the Buddha in this way. These hearers, Sharavakas, and solitary realizer, the Pratik Buddhas, cultivate bodhicitta. Now they finally cultivate bodhicitta. That's why you see, bodhicitta is the consummate, indispensable path for the enlightenment. We always have to focus bodhicitta. It's a universal mind. Because of lack of bodhicitta, then we face our confusion. So confusion cannot be dispelled, purified because of the lack of bodhicitta, the mind of the enlightenment. So they cultivate bodhicitta. They practice the bodhisattva's path for many limitless kalpas. It's like Our historical Buddha, he practiced 3 limitless kalpas. So those Sharavakas, they may take 37 limitless kalpas to achieve Buddhahood or more. But when you look at the limitless past, limitless future samsara, say 3 limitless, 30 limitless kalpas, nothing. When you look at the 30 days in a month, 1 day is nothing. 1 whole day, 1 hour is nothing. Everything's relative, but joyfully practice. Now I have clear picture how to achieve enlightenment. Normally it takes time, doesn't matter. I just go through because there's no other avenue, way to get out of the samsara. No? See, limitless kalpas and eventually achieve enlightenment. The Gone to Lanka Sutra, means Lanka Avatara Sutra, relates the same thing. Also, the White Lotus of Sublime Dharma Sutra says, these hearers, Sharavakas, have not achieved nirvana by thoroughly practicing the Bodhisattva's path, means bodhicitta practice. They will achieve Buddhahood finally.